We've just landed in Boston, but we're not actually staying in Boston. We've just driven over an hour and a half all the way from Boston city centre to Cape Cod, where we're going to stay for the next 4 nights, house sitting some awesome pets. And what better way to start our time in Cape Cod than by exploring Provincetown. And it is a fresh day today. As you can see, we've got the beanies and the puffers on in preparation for some pretty cold weather coming up over the next week or so for Stace and I, before heading to a much warmer climate, but that is top secret and you will have to subscribe to see where we're going next. But for now, let's have a look around Provincetown. I know nothing about Provincetown, I know nothing about Cape Cod, except for the fact that I think Barack Obama and his family occasionally holiday here. It's meant to be a pretty fancy place. It's obviously not going to be busy now because we are in the middle of winter, but I think that's a good thing. We get to explore these beautiful beaches and this beautiful town with very, very small crowds. Being a coastal town, Provincetown is obviously partly known for its fishing, and it's the festive season, and what better way to celebrate that than by making a tree out of lobster traps.
So apparently every night up until February you can watch online live as they light up the Provincetown lobster pot tree. So it's obviously a big deal out here in Provincetown. It's probably the most unique Christmas tree I've ever seen, but I like it. It gives the town a bit of character.
Face, you look like you've gone to Antarctica.
I feel like it.
So this lobster tree tradition started all the way back in 2003, and it started with only a few wooden traps stacked up as far as they could reach, but these days they use up to 140 traps, 3,600 LED lights and over 100 bows. And the whole reason for this is to recognise the hard-working lobstermen of Provincetown. And while these lobster traps obviously used to be used to trap lobsters, now nature seems to have taken over because there are like at least 100 birds inside this lobster trap tree. And right behind me, you can see the Pilgram Monument. I believe it was built between 1907 and 1910, so it is over 100 years old, and its purpose is to commemorate the first landing of the Pilgrims in the New World. Now you can actually walk all the way up to the top. We're not going to do it today. I'm not sure if it's actually open during the winter season, but I believe it has 116 steps, which, to be fair, isn't that many considering Stace and I did Europe, and there are so many churches we climbed up that had many more steps. And if you would like to see any of those videos, we will link our Europe playlist up there. And an interesting fact about this monument is that it is the tallest all granite structure in all of the USA.
Nice Spy Beach. Oh my god, it's cool. Provincetown is so beautiful, guys, and it's kind of like surreal being here. Don't know if that's the right word, but it is super quiet. It's like, almost like a ghost town because it is winter. I imagine in summer there are a lot more people and a lot more going on. A lot of the shops and cafes and restaurants actually close for the winter. Like, they have signs saying, "Thank you for a great season, we'll see you back in May." So it is super quiet, and yet there's just so much to see. It's so nice that it's quiet. It has like these real small town vibes. Really loving it. It's somewhere like nowhere else we've been. The old style wooden buildings, the church bells going off. It's pretty cool.
As they said, it's like nowhere we've ever been before. The one place that I think is kind of similar is this little seaside town we stumbled across on our island road trip. If you'd like to see that video, I'll link it up there. I can't even remember the name of the town, but that's the only place that I can think of that this is bringing me back to. Just with the small buildings, really narrow roads, and that village feel. We also just found this little arcade of shops that we walk through, led us to a Christmas tree, and then if you keep walking, it brings you right out onto the beach.
Guys, we've stumbled across a little holiday market here in the town. I think there are a couple along the street, so we're gonna pop our heads in. Just loving the vibes here in Provincetown. Guys, we're literally walking through sand, looking around this market. It's so cool.
It's a beach Christmas market.
It is. If you watch any of our videos, and literally any of them, you'll know I have the biggest sweet tooth ever. So we had to stop by the Provincetown Fudge Factory, get some sweet treats. We got a homemade peanut butter cup with some M&Ms in it and some peppermint bark. It looks pretty good, guys, and pretty reasonably priced considering, you know, we're in like a small town and it's the off season and things like that. I cannot wait to try these.
Yes, we know we're on a very strict budget, but as they said, they were reasonably priced, and also they said that their peanut butter cups are world famous, so we wouldn't be very good travel vloggers if we didn't try these things and let you guys know if they deserve to be world famous or not.
That was pretty good. It's so weird eating chocolate when it's so cold out because it's like not melted at all compared to our 3 months in Europe where every chocolate we had was completely melted. Peppermint's really nice, but I think Rosh needs to try this peanut butter cup.
Oh. Being in America, if you are claiming to be a world famous peanut butter cup, you have to be pretty good because obviously you're going up against Reese's peanut butter cups.
I can smell the peanut butter. Yeah.
But I think they deserve to say that they are world famous. This is very good. It's like very similar to Reese's peanut butter cups, but different. It's less dense, it's less like grainy, it's very smooth. It's very good. We went with the smooth peanut butter cup with M&Ms, as you can see, but they also had crunchy peanut butter cups, white chocolate and peanut butter, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, a lot of different variety. And to be honest, I don't think you can go wrong inside that shop. Do you agree? Guys, something else that we have noticed literally everywhere in Provincetown is that there are rainbow like LGBT flags on almost every single shop and house, and that is something that people like me and Stace really appreciate, and we find it really comforting, so thank you, Provincetown.
Okay, so Provincetown was absolutely beautiful, but something Cape Cod is particularly known for is having some of the most beautiful beaches in the entire northeast coast of the US. So we're gonna head to one of the most popular ones. Now it is winter, so it's gonna be a bit of a different vibe to what it would be like in the summertime, but I'm hoping it'll be super quiet and peaceful and beautiful.
And another positive to coming in the winter is that a lot of the parking is free. We just got free parking in Provincetown in a lot that usually is paid parking. And I think it'd be a minimum of $10 if I read the sign correctly. So we just saved some money, baby. Well, it's a good thing we're not getting in the water.
We've come to Race Point Beach here in Provincetown. It's meant to be one of the most beautiful beaches in Cape Cod. It's not hard to see why. And guys, we're walking down, I can see little heads bobbing out of the water, and I'm pretty sure they're seals. So I'm pretty excited to get up closer and have a look. And we've got some food to have a bit of a winter beach picnic for lunch. It's just so beautiful here. So we're now at Race Point Beach, and now this beach is the northernmost point of Cape Cod. It's very cold, very windy today, but one of the things this beach is known for, aside from just being beautiful, is it gets a lot of seals super close to the shoreline. So we've seen a few pop their heads up and then disappear again, which is super, super cool. But one of the dangers that does bring is that they attract great white sharks. Who knew there were great white sharks in America? Maybe we're just really stupid, but we thought they were very much an Australian thing. But they do come close to the shoreline to hunt the seals, so you do have to be a bit careful if you are hopping in the water. But it's so cool to see the seals pop up so close to the shore. It's so quiet here, there's only a handful of other people here. Obviously it is the winter, just really serene and beautiful.
I don't think it's actually that cold today, but the wind, I think it brings it down to at least like feels like 0. We have now come to Eastham to the Nauset Lighthouse. So way back in 1836, 21 residents of Eastham petitioned for a lighthouse because there'd been so many shipwrecks along the coastline, and they got one. But the first one was actually built 500 feet away from this spot, and the lighthouse has been moved multiple times since because of coastal erosion.
What's super crazy about this lighthouse, well, one, as Rosh probably mentioned, said it's been moved so many times, but also the keeping the light lit used to be a completely manual process. So that was the job of the light keeper, and they'd live here at the residence, and their job, no matter the weather, time of day, had to keep that light lit. And now obviously many decades ago it was automated, so you can kind of see now it is the daytime, so it is hard to see that the light is lit. But it's so crazy that that used to be someone's job, was to keep that light lit at all times of day.
And you would live there?
Yeah, but now that's someone else's residence, so.
Someone actually lives there?
I think so. It's pretty cool.
Now for all of our Australian viewers, if you lived a fantastic childhood like I did, you probably watched Around the Twist.
Have you ever felt like this?
And it was the Aussie family that lived in a lighthouse. I'm now learning that apparently that's just not a thing. You actually live in the residence, and that would have changed the show completely.
Now, if you've ever been to Massachusetts, or you're just like a chip connoisseur, there are these famous Cape Cod chips, or crisps if you're American, or from the UK, I don't know what people call them. We call them chips, potato chips. And this is the lighthouse that's actually on the bag of those chips. Speaking of those chips, you can actually do a self-guided tour of their factory, but it's only on weekdays. Unfortunately, it is the weekend, so we can't go through, but it's self-guided tour, you walk yourself through. I believe there are free samples and stuff, so we're absolutely shattered we missed out on that, but it's a pretty iconic lighthouse here in Cape Cod.
Oh my god. Oh, it's so much warmer in the car. Now, I did a bit of research on Cape Cod, and essentially it's like a hook-shaped peninsula, and I think it's made up of about 15 towns. Now, the hook shape does not surprise me at all, because when we drove to this beach, we were literally surrounded by sand. I think we were on the very tip of the hook, and there was kind of beach to the left and beach to the right of the road, which is something you don't often see at home, and it was pretty cool. And we are now on our way to our final destination exploring Cape Cod today, but while we're driving I thought I'd show you some of the snacks we brought on the road. Both of these are from our host that we are house sitting for, and they gave us some Cape Cod specific treats. First up we have some Cape Cod saltwater taffy, and a fun fact for you, saltwater taffy doesn't contain salt water, like it doesn't contain seawater, and I thought that it would, because I mean Cape Cod is kind of known for it. I think places along beaches is known for saltwater taffy, but no, seawater is not an ingredient in the candy. Another fun fact is that taffy, the term taffy in Pennsylvania dialect, I think means lollipop, so that's why you say saltwater taffy, because this is not a lollipop, according to Google. And then secondly, we have some chocolate coated cranberries, and that is because for the last 200 years or so, Cape Cod has been farming cranberries. So that is something I did not know until given this to eat, and they're pretty good. They are pretty good. And the box of saltwater taffy has a very detailed Cape Cod map, so I'm going to use that map to demonstrate our journey today. This is where we're staying, and then we drove all the way up to Provincetown. From Provincetown, we then made our way down to the lighthouse, and now we go all the way down along the coast to Chatham. And that is the Hook Peninsula shape, Cape Cod. And we are now heading to a little town in Cape Cod called Chatham. It's meant to be quite quaint and pretty. We'll see for ourselves.
So we've arrived in Chatham. We're just wandering down the main strip of shops. There's everything. There's art shops, gift shops, ice cream parlours that are open, candy stores, lots of different stuff. But it's just so cute how every shop face is covered in Christmas lights and decorations. It's so pretty. A lot of them are kind of like white buildings, and just the contrast of the green, red and the lights, Christmas decorations, it's so beautiful and pretty. We just don't have this stuff at home.
Guys, we've just stumbled across a little park right here in the centre of Chatham. It's called Kate Gould Park, and it is so pretty. Some of the trees are decorated in Christmas lights. It's very quickly becoming dark here, even though it is late afternoon, and we're just wandering through, and now it is starting to feel like Christmas for me. It's taken a while, a lot longer than normal, but it's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas.
We've had an amazing few days here in Cape Cod, but unfortunately it's time for us to leave. But we're in Massachusetts, so there is one spot you absolutely have to check out. So make sure you stay tuned for our next video, because we're going to Boston. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.